can't take us for granted. I think the guys and the room understand that. So we have to do everything detailed, really focusing on everything.
And did you think your career was over here?
Yeah, I definitely thought after that game, I definitely thought things were definitely going to go down after that. So I definitely didn't think we were going to be able to come back. But God works in mysterious ways, and we got a second chance.
And to play Georgia, I mean, that challenge.
I just asking if you could scoot up.
Oh, yeah.
To play the number one team in their backyard for the first time all year, you're going to be an underdog. What's just the mentality for you guys right now?
Just to go out there and compete. Like I said, anytime you get a chance like this, you just got to take advantage of it. We were on the playing one on that schedule. We just wanted a second chance, and we got that. So, we got to put in the work these upcoming weeks and these practices and get prepared and work on the business when the time comes.
How did you guys come out of the Michigan game? Those 5 big plays, like, what was the conversation, I guess, afterward about how to implement those kind of plays moving forward?
Came down to 3 things, really. It's fundamentals, details, and execution. We didn't do either of those things on those plays specifically, and you kind of see how that resulted.
I know Coach Knowles has talked about the way he plays. Sometimes you expect those big plays to happen. I think it's like five or fewer. He feels okay about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 5 kind of did you guys in that game. What was his message in terms of, I don't know, like dialing back the aggression or being more selective about the aggression when it comes to those moments?
Coach Knowles has a very he likes to call his plays the way he does. That helps us a lot. I think it helped us throughout the whole season. But like I said, it came down to just executing and doing our job. And on those plays specifically, we didn't do that.
Georgia's tight ends, both obviously challenge ones and All-American, the others. This is a team that's Washington's huge. When you watch them on film, what presents the biggest challenge for you guys in the second half of those two?
Just 2 athletic guys. They have a very athletic room. Not just those 2 guys, but they have different guys in the room that can do different things and kind of move better than the average tight end. But it's a challenge and it's an opportunity for the guys in the room and everyone else in the defense.
With their quarterback stats, and they haven't taken a lot of sacks. Rep protection's been pretty good. When you see him, what is something with him that makes him tough to defend as well? Obviously a better quarterback.
Yeah, like you just said, I think his experience. I think he's a little bit older than the guys that he's playing with, so he has that edge on some of his opponents. And anytime you're dealing with a QB who has experience, they can read things a little bit better. They can read the defense quicker and stuff like that. So you just got to be on your toes and be detailed in preparation.
And how much is there a difference to it when you know that a lot of the players on this roster are 4- and 5-star guys? A lot of the players on their rosters are 5-star guys. And a lot of NFL players are going to be on this field. Is there something to that makes it extra exciting to prepare for when you know a lot of these guys are going to be playing on Sunday on both sides?
It's what you're coming for. You want to compete against the best and play against the best. Ultimately, that makes you a better player. So that's what you're coming for.
Ronnie, you guys have played good tight ends. You guys have succeeded against good tight ends this year. Is there something different about Georgia knowing that they have 2, like you said, first-time tight ends on the field at the same time?
It's definitely going to be a challenge, like I said, but it's an opportunity for us to showcase our skills and as a defense to showcase that, whenever the challenge is presented, we're ready to take it on and handle business.
Are you guys as a team going to feed off the national perception that, obviously backed into it, they don't deserve to be here? Is that whole discussion point? Is that something that even enters your guys' thought process?
Nah, it doesn't really matter. Bottom line is we'll be playing in that game. So whether people feel like we should or shouldn't, it doesn't really matter because we are.
And Michigan played TCU before you guys. Michigan, if they win, how much extra motivation will that be if that's the prize at the end?
We gotta take it a day at a time, one practice at a time. Right now we're focusing on Georgia. So if that time comes, or when that time comes, we'll deal with it then.
Ronnie, when you have any loss or a game like the Michigan game, how much in film do you go through and dissect maybe things that went wrong, or do you guys kind of know what went wrong and you flush it and put it behind you and move on to the next thing?
No, it's critical you dive into the film as a team, as a defense, as a unit. As hard as it is to watch the players and stuff like that, you have to do it. It's part of the game. And I think we did a good job of going over our mistakes and stuff like that. So you kind of have to.
Nobody wants to make mistakes, you guys will. every day to make sure they don't happen. But when you look at what happened, how fixable would you say some of the issues against Michigan are?
It's very fixable, and I think that's what hurts us the most. Because no matter how the outside looks at it, we know what happened, we know what went wrong. Obviously, we got to do better. We got to fix it. There's no excuses, but I think that's what hurts the most when you know that it's problems that are fixable and just stuff that you can routinely.
So I can understand why that would hurt, right? But also, is there a part of it, and not that it's going to be easy against Georgia. Obviously, it's two great teams, but is there some idea of like, okay, we can make sure we don't do those things again in this next game, and if we don't make those same mistakes, we're going to be in a much better spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, so that's because sometimes it can just be like, oh man, like we did our best and a team still attacked us, right?
Yeah, no, that definitely wasn't the case. So yeah, we got to correct the things that we need to correct.
And just, I'll ask a ninth question about this. Just can you just describe maybe the confidence level of how you guys talk about it or what you see in practice? How would you describe your confidence in your ability to not have those things happen again?
I'd say, we've been having some of the best practice we had all season, just the energy and the motivation for the guys in our room, offense and defense. Like I said earlier, being able to have this second chance is huge. So we're just doing everything we can and not let us take the finish.
Ronnie, is there a maybe a little bit of extra juice to how you're approaching this game, seeing as how it might be the last one ever in a Buckeye uniform?
Yeah, you got to approach every game like it's your last, but most definitely, playing in the college football playoffs and having the chance to win a national championship, it's something that doesn't come along often. So you got to take advantage of the opportunity and do whatever's necessary.
What are you telling the guys, as far as practices are concerned? How are you leading them to, is there a difference in attitude, I guess, after the Michigan game, before the announcement, and now, right now, as far as your practices are concerned?
Sure. After that loss, we're probably at the lowest we could possibly be. So for us to get that news that we're back in it, I think everyone, including staff, they know what it means to be able to come back, just because we've had it all taken away from us. So for us to have this chance, the guys don't need much motivation. We know what's at stake. We know what we can ultimately achieve by the end of the season, and it's right in front of us. So it's all on us.
Loose and aggressive, that's what Ryan said he wants you guys to play like. Is that how you're approaching practice as well?
You said Ronnie?
Yeah, Coach Day said loose and aggressive.
Yeah.
You don't call him Ryan.
I thought he said Ronnie. I was like, I said that?
Yeah, don't you remember saying that, dude?
But, yeah. He said that to us, and that's how we got to play come the end of the day.
What would you have? You would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Hey,